Hey everyone, welcome to the Coding Zoo. If this is your first time joining, my name is Shane. This is the Coding Zoo CSS Building Blocks series. This is a short video series where we go over CSS properties and CSS in general, learn how CSS works. We also have an HTML building blocks playlist and eventually a JavaScript building blocks playlist. And then we have another playlist called HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which puts all three of these technologies together. So if you haven't checked out those videos, check them out. Be sure to subscribe and like if you like the videos. Be sure if you have any questions, hey, leave me a comment. We want this to be a community where we can help you learn how to program. Leave a comment below and we will definitely get back to you. If you're wanting to learn how to program, subscribe, click that like button and check out our videos. In today's lesson, we're going to cover the style property color. We're going to learn how to use color to style our fonts, our text. So you ready to get started? All right, let's do it. So you should have on your desktop a template folder that we created in the first lesson, the introduction to this building blocks playlist. If you haven't watched that video, quickly go check it out and it'll help you set up your desktop. We have a template we copy each week that allows you to keep copies of each lesson you learn so you can go back and look at it later in case you forget. So I have on my desktop here a CSS 1 and 2 folder. The CSS 1 is my template folder, so I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Press Control V. I'm going to rename it to lesson 3 here. Great. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up my CSS style. So I'm going to right click on styles.css, choose edit with Notepad++. All right, so we've decided to use a different color scheme here. Hopefully you can see it good. If not, just leave me a comment, hey, and we'll change it back. All right, so let's go ahead and also open up the HTML file. Edit with Notepad++. There we go. So I have both files open. I have the index.html and styles.css. So you should have both files open, index.html and styles.css. In my case, I have H1 Shane, and I already have a color property on it that I used in a previous lesson. So we have used the color property, but we haven't gone in depth over how it works. So let's check it out. So I have an H1 tag around Shane. I can use H1, I can use div, I can use various tags to put around Shane. And I've got a element or rather type selector, CSS selector, that's trying to find all the H1s. So in my case, I have one H1 around Shane. All right, so that H1 selector will find the word Shane, and here is the color CSS property. So color is mainly used for coloring your text, coloring your fonts. So in this case, it's set to blue. Let's go ahead and take a look at that since it's already set. If you haven't already done this, go ahead and if you need to, stop the video and catch up with me. Add an H1 tag, put some text in the middle of it. Be sure to save it. Go over to your style CSS, type in H1, squiggly bracket, and then the property color, colon, and then whatever color you want, semicolon, and squiggly bracket. So once you have all that, click save, and then let's view it together. Feel free to stop the video if you need to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna assume you caught up there. I'm gonna go ahead and open that file up and be sure you did catch up. It's important, in my opinion, that you actually type the code. You don't just listen, but you actually do it. You type the code, and that way it sticks with you longer. So I want to make sure that you actually program and not just listen to someone program. The more you do it, the more you will remember it. Okay, so I'm going to right click on index.html and I'm going to choose open with Chrome browser. All right, so I have the name Shane, and it is indeed blue. And of course, if I go back to Notepad++, I can change that color. Let's try orange. Let's try orange in lowercase. So I have color, colon, orange, semicolon, click save, go back to my browser. I'm going to click refresh, and there we go. Now it's orange. So that's pretty simple, right? So that's one way of studying the color. There are a lot of colors out there that are supported. Let's check that out. So I'm going to type in htmlcolorcodes.com. And this website will let you get an idea of exactly what type of colors are out there. You can click around and you can actually see their hex number here, hexadecimal. You can see the RGB number here. Of course, you've already seen you can use color names. Let's try out this light coral. So I'm gonna copy that. So pound F08080. I'm going to go back to my editor. I'm going to erase the orange and I'm going to cut and paste that number. So type in pound F08080. Click save. Go back to my browser. I'm going to click refresh and the color should change from orange to light coral. So it's changed to light coral. There you go. We use the hexadecimal number to change the color. A lot of your colors, it will be easier to find the hexadecimal number for them than finding the name. Like for example, if I scroll through here, I can pick a color. You can see the hex number up here, RGB value up here. And then there's this large chart here, and you can go up and down the whole chart of colors and choose which shade you want. It's very, you have many choices to choose from. So I'm going to go down. Let's see, what color can we choose? How about this color right here? So this is the hex number for it. So we've seen how to color with the name. This is the hex number for this color. We've seen how to do that. Let's use the RGB numbers for it. All right, so and they are 134, 79, and 145. Back over here. I'm going to erase the hexacode, hex number, type in RGB, parentheses, in parentheses. And that should probably be lowercase. And I already forgot the number. Let me go back there and get that number again. 134, 79, 145. 134, 79, 145. And all right, I'm gonna click save, go back to my browser, click refresh, and the color changed. What do you know? There you go. So that's an RGB number specifying this color. So we've identified 3 different ways you can change the color so far. I say there's 3, but there's really 2 more ways that you can actually change the color. So let's go over these first 3. First one was, well, the name of the color. That's quite simple. There's a lot of colors out there with different shades, so you don't always have a name to go by. So you can use the hexadecimal number. The hexadecimal number is the pound and the number following that. And sometimes you'll have the letters A through F. I won't go into what a hexadecimal number is in this lesson, but in the future, hey, we may cover that. So anyway, the hexadecimal number is really 3 numbers in there. One, it's for red, green, blue, to specify the different shades of those colors, so they're mixed together. And then you have the RGBA, which does the same thing. You just have different codes. It's not hexadecimal numbers, but it does the red, green, and blue mixture. After that, you have another one that's called HSL. If you go here to the HTML color codes page, you'll see the HSL listed there. HSL basically defines the base color, the hue, and then it defines the saturation, hence the S, and then it defines the lightness, how light something is, how dark something is. So Again, the same thing. You can go to color codes and you can choose a color. So if I go here, let's see, I chose this color, so I'm going to do HSL. So that's the base hue, that's the saturation, and that is the lightness value. Let's try that out. I'm going to cut and paste that. There we go. Go back here, HSL. Let's paste that number, 11, 80%, 60%. So 11 is the base color, saturation's at 80%, and the lightness is at 60%. Click Save, go back to my browser. Let's go ahead and click Refresh, and there you go, it changed colors. Let's go back to the lightness, and what happens if I put it 10%, 19%? Click Refresh, and actually got darker. Let's change it to 99%. Click Save, and click Refresh. Whoa, did it get light? Very light. So the higher the number, the lighter it gets. Let's go back. Change that back to, let's say, 50. Click Save. Click Refresh. Oop, wrong window. Click Refresh. It's a little bit darker again now. All right, let's change the saturation. I'm going to go down to 50. Click Save. Go over here. Click Refresh, and you'll see that the saturation actually almost is getting darker and darker. It's actually changing. It's actually changing the mixture of the colors, I believe. So that's HSL. There's also an RGBA instead of just RGB. The RGBA allows you to specify, I believe, the lightness also. Let's try it out real quick. Go back to here, type in RGBA. Let's go choose a color. I'm going to take that one and cut and paste it. Save it. Go here. Okay. I'm going to type in a decimal, 0.5. Click Save. Back to my page. Click Refresh. Change the color. Let's see what that other number does. Let's change it. Go back here. Change it to a 2. Go back. Click Refresh, and it lightened it up. So it's another way of changing the lightness. Go back here. Change it to 9. Click Save. Refresh. Made it darker. There you go. So pretty much like the HSL, the RGBA allows you to change the lightness. So pretty neat. That's it. That's the different ways to change your color CSS property. You have the name, the RGB, the hexadecimal number, the RGBA way, and the HSL way. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to click like and subscribe and check out our new videos. Please leave us a comment. We'll get back to you. If you have any suggestions, if you liked the video, just say hey, drop by and say hey, you liked it. Let us know. If you didn't, hey, click dislike, leave us a comment. Let us know how we can make it better for you. We want to teach you how to program and help you program. This is for you. So let us know how we can make it better for you. Thanks for joining. See you next time.